Run, Joe, run. Oh, shit.
Billion Coca-Cola drinks sold every single day. Think of a brand success story, and you may well think of Coca-Cola. Indeed, with nearly 1 billion Coca-Cola drinks sold every single day, it is the world's most recognized brand. Coke invented the category. When Coca-Cola was launched in the 1880s, it was the only product in the market. As such, it invented a new category, and the brand name became the name of the product itself. 5 Coke versus 1 Pepsi. In the late 1950s, Coke outsold Pepsi by a ratio of more than 5 to 1. Pepsi is just 10 years younger. However, during the next decade, Pepsi repositioned itself as a youth brand, sacrificing its older customers to Coca-Cola. This strategy was a risky one, as it meant sacrificing its older customers to Coca-Cola. But ultimately it proved successful. By narrowing its focus, Pepsi was able to position its brand against the old and classic image of its competitor. As it became increasingly seen as the drink of youth, Pepsi managed to narrow the gap. Coke's number 1 status became vulnerable. In 1981, Coke's number 1 status was starting to look vulnerable. It was losing market share not only to Pepsi but also to some of the drinks produced by the Coca-Cola company itself, such as Fanta and Sprite. Diet Coke shrank the sugar cola market. In particular, the runaway success of Diet Coke was a double-edged sword, as it helped to shrink the sugar cola market. In 1983, the year Diet Coke moved into the number 3 position behind Standard Coke and Pepsi, Coke's market share had slipped to an all-time low of just under 24%. Something clearly had to be done to secure Coke's supremacy. The Pepsi Taste Challenge. The problem, as Coca-Cola perceived it, came down to the product itself. As the Pepsi Challenge had highlighted millions of times over, Coke could always be defeated when it came down to taste. This seemed to be confirmed by the success of Diet Coke, which was closer to Pepsi in terms of flavor. Coca-Cola worked on a new formula. So in what must have been seen as a logical step, Coca-Cola started working on a new formula. A year later they had arrived at New Coke. Decision to terminate its most popular soft drink. Yet in 1985 the Coca-Cola company decided to terminate its most popular soft drink and replace it with a formula it would market as New Coke. Coca-Cola underestimated the power of its first brand. The trouble was that the Coca-Cola company had severely underestimated the power of its first brand. As soon as the decision was announced, a large percentage of the US population immediately decided to boycott the new product. Biggest marketing blunder of all time. On April 23, 1985 New Coke was introduced, and few days later the production of original Coke was stopped. This joint decision has since been referred to as the biggest marketing blunder of all time. Coke contradiction. By launching New Coke, Coca-Cola was therefore contradicting its previous marketing efforts. Last word people associated with Coca-Cola. In 1985, a century after the product launched, the last word people associated with Coca-Cola was new. The sublimated essence of all America stands for a decent thing, honestly made, universally distributed, conscientiously improved with the years. They changed my Coke, I can't believe it. New Coke's free publicity at over US $10 million. So despite the tremendous amount of hype which surrounded the launch of New Coke, one estimate puts the value of New Coke's free publicity at over US $10 million, it was destined to fail. However, when Coca-Cola relaunched its original Coke, redubbed Classic Coke, for the US market, the media interest swung back in the brand's favor. Within months Coke had returned to the number 1 spot and New Coke had all but faded away.
concentrate on the brand's perception. In the words of Jack Trout, author of Differentiate or Die, marketing is a battle of perceptions, not products. Don't clone your rivals. In creating New Coke, Coca-Cola was reversing its brand image to overlap with that of Pepsi. The company has made similar mistakes both before and after, launching Mr. Pibb to rival Dr. Pepper and Fruitopia to compete with Snapple. Feel the love. According to Saatchi & Saatchi's worldwide chief executive officer, Kevin Roberts, successful brands don't have trademarks. They have love marks instead. In building brand loyalty, companies are also creating an emotional attachment that often has little to do with the quality of the product. Don't be scared to U-turn. By going back on its decision to scrap Original Coke, the company ended up creating an even stronger bond between the product and the consumer. Do the right market research. Despite the thousands of taste tests Coca-Cola carried out on its new formula, it failed to conduct adequate research into the public perception of the original brand.